Hello, welcome to Anaesthetics Anonymous. My name's Rob and I'm an anaesthetist. 10 years ago I was called to a cardiac arrest in theatre. Another anaesthetist was already performing cardiac compressions. He turned to me and said, "I think she's had an air embolus." An air embolus is basically air in the blood vessels. To get one, we need two things. Firstly, an opening in the blood vessel, and secondly, the pressure outside the blood vessel to be greater than that inside. Every time we take a breath, we create negative pressure in our chests. We can suck enough air in a matter of seconds to cause a cardiac arrest. Now, the patient in theatre was in her 30s. She was the daughter of a theatre nurse, and everyone knew her personally. Most had known her since she was a little girl and remember her waiting in the theatre tea room for her mum to finish work. She'd had a baby herself 3 months earlier, born by caesarean section. The procedure was complicated by severe bleeding, which left her in kidney failure. She was in theatre on the day that she arrested to have a vas cath central line inserted, a device used for dialysis. Air entered the central line. That's how she got her air embolus. We never got her back. This was the start of my journey into patient safety. Last year, the British Medical Journal published this: medical error, the third greatest cause of death in our hospitals. Doctors and nurses accidentally kill more patients than car accidents, diabetes, strokes, and suicide. In my 25 years of healthcare, I've yet to meet a single doctor or nurse who doesn't want the best for every patient. So how is this? One way we look at this data is to deny it, isn't it? We say, these patients are sick and they're going to die anyway. When you read the BMJ article, you realise, yes, these patients will die anyway, but it's not because they're sick. It's because the healthcare system is sick. Another way we look at this data is to say we must work harder and focus more and stop all the medical errors. Safety experts have a mantra. Every system is perfectly designed to get the results it consistently achieves. Healthcare is perfectly designed so that medical error is the third greatest cause of death. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if we could cure the healthcare system and save those lives? Every central line air embolus is completely avoidable, yet in the 2 years up to 2015, New South Wales received 51 reports with 6 deaths. Most cases occurred because central lines were being removed with patients sat upright, this despite policies dictating they lie flat. This is the policy from one of my hospitals. If you knew it existed and you could find it amongst hundreds, maybe thousands of other policies, and you could get to page 24 of 35, it is written there in bold, place patient supine. However, it doesn't say why. Also, many healthcare staff work in different hospitals throughout the week, having a different policy dictating the same procedure. It's like having a different set of road rules for each town that we drive through. It's completely bonkers, isn't it? But we put up with it, don't we? Why? This is a command structure. The Romans built their legions in this way. Most of us work in hierarchies like this, and this is how we were schooled. When you work in structures like this, you become conditioned to perform this way. Information isn't shared at the bottom on the front line, but it's passed up. It may be passed down again, but only on a need-to-know basis. The problem is, it's impossible for those at the top to understand who needs to know what to deliver the best solutions. This is also the structure of our error reporting systems, except error reporting looks like this. Each state and each individual private hospital has their own error reporting system. These systems don't communicate with one another, nor can frontline staff access the data within them. And while we have error reporting systems, we have no systems for reporting hazards. And it's fascinating that we don't, because it sends an extremely strong message to the front line. Just put up with your work environments. Put up with the equipment and the systems that you work with. So we put up with them, don't we? And the solutions to our errors are delivered as another policy or an alert, or in the case of the New South Wales air emboli, as a clinical focus report. Now, this is a great summary document, but due to the sheer amount of information out there, the vast majority of frontline staff have never even seen this. And within the 6 months after it was released, there were 5 more air embolus deaths in New South Wales. In a recent survey, up to a quarter of staff have never even heard of central line air emboli, and 15% believe that central lines should be removed with patients sitting upright. What to do? We approached the health department to help deliver a very simple message.
Today's a bit different. As part of his treatment, he needed a central line, and now it's about to be removed. If the central line's not removed properly, air can get into his blood vessels. Within seconds, enough air can enter the heart to stop it pumping blood, causing cardiac arrest, which patients often can't be rescued from. Hey, we killed Andy, and he's not the first. Some experts estimate from reports worldwide, around 1 person dies every day from central line air emboli. Many cases occur because central lines are removed with patients sitting upright. Okay, let's try that again. There's a simple solution. When lying flat, the veins in the chest fill with blood and are less likely to suck in air. We can prevent air emboli by ensuring central lines are removed with patients lying flat, or in medical speak, supine, putting pressure on the removal site until an airtight occlusive dressing is applied. That's better. So remember, remove central lines, supine. Right, Andy's off now. Where are you off to, Andy?
One death every day. Without access to other error databases, we did an internet search. Statistically, it's more like 3 deaths every day in the United States alone. And to see the information behind this, please do click on the web link at the end. Case series after case series, case report after case report, children, pregnant women, a payout of $30 million for one case. And this image, 19-year-old Blake Fort had his central line removed while he was sat upright. Then he was dead. Making the animation was brilliant. We'd created a great team like this yellow cluster on the left. Doctors, nurses and managers working with people with different backgrounds and insights. Advertisers who drink beer at lunchtime. It took over a year to complete this project. Not because of the beer, but because a command of team structure can delay progress. Yet it's great to see the final product. So far it's had over 30,000 hits. Please help it spread. It will save lives. Now we're doing something even better. This is the hierarchy of intervention effectiveness, a simple way showing how human factors experts see safety. They understand how we interact and that we all make mistakes. We can't change this human condition. However, we can change the conditions humans work within. The people-focused interventions we've relied on in healthcare, warnings, alerts, policies, human factors experts consider less effective. Greater emphasis is placed on the systems and the equipment we interface with. For central line removal, we're going to deliver a standardized approach recognized everywhere with a reminder at the point of care. If we already put cute teddy bears on kids' IV dressings, we can get a life-saving message on our central lines. How amazingly simple and effective is this? To deliver it, we've developed a transparent, networked approach to safety, interconnected with human factors experts, manufacturers, governing bodies, frontline staff, and you. Whatever your background, you can develop brilliant solutions in a transparent way so everyone can see where each project is up to and help deliver it. Working as a team of teams. I heard a fascinating story recently, and I love telling it because it helps drive home a simple message. A gynecologist performing keyhole surgery accidentally made a hole in a patient's bowel, so they called the colorectal surgeon. The guy came in, they got him to scrub up, and after about 10 minutes, they found the hole. The gynecologist then asked his colleague what his plan was. He replied, "I'm sorry, I've never done this before. You do realize I'm a medical student." They didn't. Knowing people's names and roles is a non-technical skill essential for optimal teamwork. So we do this. And when an arrest alarm goes off and staff rush into theatre, we know who's who. We orchestrate the team extremely efficiently and the patient's more likely to survive. This is more than a human factors solution. It's a statement we resonate to save hundreds of thousands of lives. We're doctors and nurses, and we're human. And as well as forgetting each other's names, we make other mistakes. Mistakes like this. Last year, a father in intensive care was sat with his child on his lap. His central line became disconnected, sucked in air, and he died. Every central line in Australia opens to air, yet we don't need them to. In the same year, the UK reported 4 similar cases. The response? A notice, lost in a sea of other notices to remind colleagues never to leave central lines uncapped. Within the complexity of healthcare, a notice like this just isn't going to work. Instead, we're going to the top to use a forcing function, a design constraint which prevents the adverse event from happening. Microwave ovens provide a great example. They won't operate with the door open, stopping us irradiating our hands. I can only imagine the number of frazzled hands we'd have if instead we relied on a policy, a tick box, or an audit. Central lines with caps which are bonded on and don't come off so they can't be left open to air are already used elsewhere in the world without problem. There's no difference in cost. We've been trying to trial these lines now for over 2 years, yet resistance to change is a massive hurdle in healthcare. But we'll get there, and when we do, I can only imagine the lives we'll save. There are tons of other issues just like this in healthcare. So far, we've only addressed a handful of them, and we've resolved a few. But with your help, we can rectify them all. Whatever your background, you can help redesign our hospitals, recognizing we're all human and all make mistakes. But don't expect change to come easily. The hardest things to change, those where we see little benefit, yet the healthcare system hides the mistakes we're trying to overcome. So perhaps start there. Reveal the same mistakes which happen again and again, or think of an inefficient hospital process, or find an alert that's already been sent out and deliver a more effective intervention. Choose a project, develop a team, and drive the solution. What an amazing challenge, because when you succeed, we all win. We can do this. The internet connects us in ways the Romans could never have dreamt of. So let's work together. Choose to be human and part of a team. And just think of the lives you'll save.